How's it going out there, esports world, and welcome once again to BossFight TV's The Reload. As always, my name is Josh Engel, also known as Anti-Pro, and joined with me tonight
is Mike Bisson, aka Mohawk Mike, ready to bring you some esports news.
Esports news. So this is our 18th episode, if you're counting, and we're going to be covering March 27th through April 3rd. Man, the year's gone by so quickly.
Don't you mean April 5th?
April...
Gotcha, April Fools. Because I didn't do anything on Sunday.
Shut up. Anyways, as always, we're going to start out the show talking about our awesome sponsor, eSports. These guys are right there. Check them out, iHeartEsports.com, at iHeartEsports on Twitter. They got a lot of cool stickers and all that craziness. If you're going to IPL this weekend, there's going to be some opportunities to buy stickers if you're there, especially a one-of-a-kind, one-run-only sticker that we cannot talk about.
Can't talk about.
But it's sweet.
I can tell you, if you're going to IPL,
we'd
you're
have
going
to
to
kill
be
you.
Very happy.
Yes, you should go.
This is exclusive.
Anyways, so as always, check them out and listen throughout the episode for a chance to win your very own iHeart Esports stickers. Also, what I'm going to do, if you guys...
Call in the next 20 minutes?
Call in the next 20 minutes.
Because we can't do this all day.
Can't do this all day. Sham wow, man. If you comment on the bottom of the video... Actually, you know what? We're going to think about what we want them to comment on the bottom of the video. Because we're going to give out a couple lanyards. Some boss fight lanyards. So if you remember our episode beforehand, before MLG, we had some lanyards. We have a lot left, so we're gonna give some out if you comment on the bottom of the video. But I don't know what it's gonna be yet.
2 secret codes?
No. It's not gonna be a secret code. It'll be a question. Like
okay.
I want you to answer a question.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll come up.
There's a lot of pressure.
And we'll wait till the end.
Codes.
We'll actually do that at the end. So if you're watching, you're like, I just want a lanyard. Even though we won't watch the whole episode, it'll probably be in the end.
Let's go to the end.
I'm just saying. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get rolling. Starting off with StarCraft 2 news, as always, back up at the top.
What was that?
What?
StarCraft 2 back up at the top?
Back up at the top.
All right.
I mean, last weekend we talked, or was it last episode? We talked about a lot of fighting games in the beginning and everything, man. Come on, man. Shut up. Anyways.
I just want to get the number 2 spot, so let's knock the StarCraft 2 out.
Oh, well, honestly, there wasn't a lot of humongous tournaments going on the StarCraft side of things. The big part of the news is the One Nation of Gamers tournament. If you're not familiar with them, it's a kind of an alliance of barcrafts that got together. Their first tournament was very, very successful, brought a lot of really top talent from the StarCraft field out to play in that. Same thing around this time. So there was 32 players from all across the globe, and here's your top 4. We have Snoot, Killer, Chef, and TLO. Those are the top 4, and first place taking home $2,000. So Snoot, congratulations on that. It was a great tournament, great experience. Sorry, I had to say it. I'm sorry.
There's your allowance for the episode.
I'm going to say it again. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So moving on to the IPL Tournaments of Champions. This tournament has been one of those ones that go on forever. Or not forever, but one of those, it goes across a month or two or whatever. So it has concluded, went for a month. There's a $12,000 prize pool, and here are your top 4s. Here are your top 4 for the IPL Tournament of Champions. We have Jock G, Creator, Hero, and Gumio. Jock G takes home $5,000, as well as a fully paid trip to IPL 4 that goes on this weekend in Las Vegas. So congratulations to him as well. Moving on down, we have Code S. A couple groups have concluded in there. We have Group A. We have STC and Tasia advancing, with Jock G and DRG moving down to Code A. So unfortunately, Jock G took Tournament of Champions, and he's going to IPL 4, but got busted down into Code A, unfortunately.
Priorities, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the GSL is a little bit higher on. If I was Jock G, I think I would treat the GSL a little more. Anyways, so Group C, MKP, the one and only, the one who walked away with the win in MLG Columbus, as well as the spring arena or winter arena, should I say, not spring. We're not to the spring yet, but it's coming.
Feels like it.
So MKP took first place in that group, and we have July advancing with Zinio and Alive moving down to Code A. 2 more here. We have the EGE's Master Cup, as always. Let's take a look at the scores there. Now, remember that it kind of got messed up with MLG. So the first couple weeks was awesome because the entire week we could talk about it during the show. But now we're talking a little bit of week 4 and a little bit of week 5. But whatever. Here's what happened in this past week. We have It's Gosu takes Millennium 4-0, Dignitas 3-1 over Alternate, and Fnatic taking it 3-1 over Vile. As always, this tournament is an ongoing tournament. There's almost games every single day. So if you want to get your StarCraft on, just look on myeg.net or look on the sidebar on Team Liquid for all that craziness. And as always, the Iron Squid still chugging along. Here's a little update. MKP, Puma, MC, and Symbol are the current players who made it out of group play into the brackets. There's still a couple more groups to go, and then we'll be in bracket play. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on with the Iron Squid. But that rounds out StarCraft, going on to one of Mike's favorite games in the whole entire world, Mike, Quake.
Quake.
Let's talk about Quake.
It happened this weekend. This past weekend.
Not only was it Quake, but a legend.
It was a pro tournament.
That's awesome.
Which, I kind of fill in the reload every now and then with news, maybe a little stuff from ESL side tournaments or the Zotac Cup, which happens every Sunday, which is a great tournament. I'm not going to deny it. But Mr. Too Good and the new GD Studio this past Sunday on April 1st, which was hilarious because I really didn't pay attention until it actually went live because I didn't know if it was a joke or not, but hosted a pro 8-player invite, $500 winner-takes-all single elimination Quake Live tournament.
It was awesome.
And it includes such high-profile players as Toxic, which a lot of people didn't know that his name is actually Toxic because it's TOXJQ. His name is actually Johan Quick, so those are his initials, JQ. So a lot of people didn't understand that. They were like, why are they calling this guy Toxic? There you go, because I know there were people in the chat asking about
Fair
that.
enough.
You also had Avic of Quake Live fame, and then you also had Strentz, who actually previously in the day, mentioning the Zotac Cup, actually won Zotac Cup 127. So coming into the event, had already won a tournament previous in the day. And one last little side bit, he's amazing. We'll have to see some people. It's funny because they actually, Rafa, who is the top North American player for Quake, actually was unable to attend the tournament. He was invited. He at first acknowledged, said, hey, yeah, I want to do this, and then last second wasn't able to come, so Guard actually replaced him, so big ups to Guard for filling in the spot.
Woo-woo.
But going into it, I have to say, the very first match between Toxic and Avic, or no, it was Toxic and Kilzin, my bad. Toxic and Kilzin, I was very surprised, because there were about 200 of us in the chat, and we're just talking and, watching on Twitch, talking about good old days, frag videos and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, it gets up to like 5,000 people watching.
A lot.
It stayed concurrent at least 4,000 people, and at one point got as high as 8,000 people watching live, chatting about Quake, asking, and it's old fans, maybe some new fans, hopefully, talking about, what does Red Armor do, which map is more important for control.
There were a lot of new people.
Yeah.
What did you say to me? There was someone that was like, oh, what is this? Is this Strengths guy kind of like the Stefano of
Yeah,
Quake?
somebody's like, is he the Stefano of Quake? Is ZTN the Dust 2 of Quake? Because I always see people playing that map, which is great. Bring it on.
Yes.
But
I'm enjoying.
Going into the tournament, grand finals, I've done a whole write-up, so you can go on, you can check on the website, you can get more in depth on that. But just for the finals, they actually had Toxic versus Strentz. There were some very close games going into the finals. There was a overtime match between Evil and Strentz in the semifinals, so that was amazing to see. But in the grand finals, it was actually Strentz pulling it out 3-1 over Toxic. But I have to say, being a fan of Toxic for a long time and having him being relatively inactive in the duel scene for Quake Live, he dominated Quake 4.
It was crazy.
Literally only lost one event, and that was to Avic. But to see him come back and play amazingly is great, and it's promising. Hopefully a lot more people are now interested in Quake. Good job to the GD Studio and to Too Good and Faz for commentating, putting it on. This one day, one-off cup could hopefully inspire a lot more tournaments and a lot more people to play.
Right.
So
and there's two things. One is where the hell did Kilson go? What happened to him? What happened to Kilson?
what do you mean?
He
lost to Toxic
I know.
in the first game.
I know, but that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Like, what? Normally you see him up there,
Yeah.
but oh well. And here's the second thing. Where was the whiskey? I saw no whiskey on stream. Too good, man.
Keeping it classy. They had stats that they would pull off on the
those were
side.
sick.
They had
Those
stats
were really cool.
they'd pull off actually from QLranks.com. So
Good times.
good stuff. Hopefully,
times indeed.
they're doing a lot more. Actually, talking about the GD Studio, they're doing a lot more. They're actually doing Bloodline Champions this next weekend. They're doing stuff with League of Legends. They're doing stuff with Quake Live. So keep an eye out for them because they will definitely be a new hub
Right.
for esports,
It'll be
especially
sweet.
in the European scene.
I'm excited.
And that
It's
was
gonna be
amazing.
All right. Talking about League of Legends.
League of Legends.
We got some League of Legends news coming at you where one of my favorite teams did really well in this next upcoming tournament.
Yeah.
Which you've probably heard me mention them before. So we have the Absolute Pro League APL Grand Finals.
I'll make a comment later about that name, about what I
What?
think of that.
Why?
Go ahead.
What?
Go into the Absolute Pro League.
Absolute Pro League.
Nothing but.
Anyways, so 16 teams. It was an invitational tournament. And at the end, it was Counterlogic Gaming versus Against All Authority. One of my favorite teams, Counterlogic Gaming, took the victory 2-1. What's your APL thing? What's that you had to say?
First, I want to say I believe it was actually CLG that knocked out Against All Authority.
That's what I said. TLG won Against All Authority 2-1.
Okay. I thought you said Against All Authority was your favorite team. And anyway, that's
No.
neither here nor there.
Counterlogic Gaming. Counterlogic Gaming, Mike.
This is what I wanted to say because apparently I'm not paying attention enough.
Oh.
But alongside with the Absolute Pro League, they also run the APL, which is the amateur, or is the AAL. It's the Absolute Amateur League.
Mm-hmm.
If I can remember my acronyms.
So they do both.
So you have the Absolute Pro League and they have the Absolute Amateur League, which makes it kind of seem like the teams are absolute amateurs. But
whatever.
the cool thing about that event is that you actually get to spotlight some of the up-and-coming teams.
Right.
And those teams that actually, the team that actually wins gets an invite to the next APL event. So they
Nice.
gain pro status. And so,
Pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
and that was, who won that, Josh?
I thought you were gonna talk about
Well,
it.
I don't know who got first or second in the pro league.
We have HCLG Gaming won the tournament against. You didn't even write it down.
No.
So it's a CLG B team, I guess.
April Fools.
Thanks, Mike.
Got you. I
Thanks,
only wrote the
buddy.
winner down.
Mike's like, hey, you talk about League of Legends, but I'm not gonna give you all the notes.
There's a flow. There's a flow to the show.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Should that be the code? Thanks, Mike.
Sure. Why not?
I don't even know. All right,
It's probably too common.
All right, I'm gonna stop making fun of you. We'll come up with another code that doesn't involve you.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? You come up with a code about me.
Jeez.
Do it.
Okay. Well, I do want to actually throw in, since we're talking about Mike forgetting the League of Legends news, the Vengeance Cup.
You mean the Vengeance Cup?
The Vengeance Cup
Vengeance.
is coming with a Vengeance. The playoffs.
vengeance?
The playoffs are actually rounding out, and if you recall, that is $10,000. So
Pretty
keep
sweet.
a lookout for Chaos TV for when those matches go live. I know that actually Against All Authority is one of the teams in there, and a few of the other top teams as well.
Mhm.
Because that's another thing I forgot. I seem to have omitted from the League of Legends notes.
Yeah. See here, Mike got insanely crazy, like gung ho, because he was like, "Quake, yes, here it is. This is awesome. It's back." And then when it comes to everything else, he's like, "Dude, Quake's back. It's
Quake's
coming
back.
back. Coming back."
I'm not
man.
saying it's back. I'm just saying
it's not dead yet.
I had an entire day of just sitting back and watching Quake.
We were giving it CPR, and it's breathing a little bit. So, anyways, moving right along. You got any more League of Legends news? Or we
That's
good?
it.
Good?
That's
Good to
all I
go?
have for League of Legends.
Call of Duty. Talk about Call of Duty, Mike. What's going on with Call of Duty?
We actually have two big events that are going on right now for Call of Duty. First off, we had this weekend, we have the CSN. It was the Avermedia Broadcast Cup, which they actually had they had 64 teams show up or sign up, but they only had 59 there for actually checkup. So nearly 60 teams compete in this tournament there was over $600 in cash and prizes. Avermedia actually gave out some of their capture cards, which is cool. because you think about in relation to the actual community, so they can make montages and stuff like that, get their product out there. That's great. We actually had in the finals. It's funny because I am going to make this note. CSN did a fantastic job of updating the brackets during the tournament. So literally when you're watching the live stream and going back to the brackets to check the matches, they were great. But the grand finals has a team called 665 beating out a team called Bandit B. But from my recollection, it was actually Team Epsilon who won the tournament. But they say on the site that it's Team 665. So I don't know. That may be a complete ignorant statement. 665 may be like their sponsor for Epsilon or whatever, but I'm not sure. But anyway,
those guys. That
happened. What I am 100% about, though, is that the Machinima Frag Cup #3 will be concluding on April 14th. We are down to the final 4 teams. And in semifinal number 1, you have Apex North America, if you recall, who is actually Team Quantic. Or not Team Quantic, Team... It's so funny because I said, if you do recall, and then I forgot.
Way to go.
Yeah, thanks.
Way to go.
The number 1 team in Optic. There you go.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. If you remember, if you recall, formerly Optic Gaming was actually picked up by Apex North America. They will be playing Collapse. And in the other final leading in, it's the Virtual Friends versus Body Count.
That sounds like good versus evil. Like, we're the Virtual Friends versus Body Count. You like the voice?
What's funny is back in my Team Fortress 2 days, we went to a tournament and the first team we played was called the Super Friends. And we felt bad when we beat them because they really were. They were just like a group of friends that were playing together. They had shirts with like the Super Friends that they had superimposed their faces on. Wow. That was cool though. Wow. Yeah. So anyway.
That'd be the code, Super Friends. That's the code.
Yes.
Code for this week, #SuperFriends. Mention @BossFightTV and iHeart eSports for your chance to win a sticker. #SuperFriends. Came from Mike. All right.
Me and you, guy.
Rock it out. Let's do it.
So, anyway, like I said, April 14th is when the finals of that will go. So, look up for Machinima. Look up their Machinima/Respawn, YouTube.com, Machinima, Respawn. Woo-woo. You'll watch those finals. But as I mentioned, you know what? Convenient enough, Team Fortress 2.
There's another tournament. There's another game that Mike is ecstatic about.
Shout out to Community Fortress and Xtelevision for they actually ran for fun. This is like a super last second. They ran a 3v3 King of the Hill tournament. Mm-hmm. This was a one-day deal. Once again, they had the brackets. The brackets are there. The brackets are up, but they weren't completed. But from my estimation, Team Just the Tip, literally, this team's name was Just the Tip, actually won. But I could be wrong about that.
That's clever.
Because I was watching everything else flipping back and forth. There was Quake. There was Quake going on. But anyway, Team Fortress 2, it's free to play. You shoot people. Get it. It's amazing. That's all. I just wanted to give a shout out to Team Fortress 2 for all those guys out there keeping it competitive. It's amazing.
Talking about keeping it alive, we had a really sweet conversation with Key Hunt. We didn't even mention this in the beginning.
Nope.
Really awesome conversation with Key Hunt on Sunday about keeping Counter-Strike alive. So,
well, just not even Counter-Strike. We actually got to the point of talking about FPS gaming.
Shooters in general. Yeah. So check that out. We were talking about a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So we are pretty much done with the current news, but let's talk about...
I have one more thing.
Mike. Oh, that's right.
One more thing.
The Curleh
the
Mustache.
Curleh Mustache.
I apologize.
But not least, fighting games.
Curleh Mustache.
This weekend, we had the IFC Yipes once again hosted the Curleh Mustache 3.
Curleh?
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 invite tournament on the East Coast. I'm not even going to argue about map and where that placing is because it was in New York. That is definitely East Coast. East Coast. But anyway, a lot of hype coming into the event because you had Chris G, who was the previous winner of the first Curleh Mustache.
I mean Chris G-Lock.
Chris G-Lock.
I'm sorry,
inside joke. I got the song stuck in my head. And then you had Marlon Pie, who won Curleh Mustache 2, were at the event. And they not only performed very well, but they actually met each other in the finals once again. So a rematch from Curleh Mustache 2. So that
Very
was very
nice.
good to see. Overall, it was actually Marlon Pye who took it, he showed some new Sea Viper guard breaking where both of his teammates, he would have them come in and assist low, like a low assist, and then he'd do this overhead attack with Sea Viper. Like, it wasn't like a dive kick, but it was like this overhead, I think it was like overhead medium kick. It would break guard. And so he was just throwing people around with Viper and Doom. So that was amazing to see. So big ups to Curleh Mustache 3, IFC Yipes, and everybody who competed.
Like a boss.
Because that is one of the best tournaments to watch.
Indeed. Now, we're done.
Now I'm done
with the news.
With the news.
With the news. But let's talk about next week. There are so many tournaments to follow. It is ridiculous. First off, we have IPL 4. Second off, we have EGL 5. So IPL 4, has StarCraft and League of Legends. Mike, what games does EGL 5 have?
EGL 5 is going to be the center of the world for console gaming. They are doing Halo Reach, they are doing Gears of War, and they are doing Modern Warfare 3. But oh wait, they're doing it on both Xbox and PS3. So there are going to be a lot of teams that will show up. They're actually getting more and more sponsorship behind them, and they're getting rolling. So this event is going to be amazing. It has already been confirmed that there will be at least 2 North American teams over there to compete in Modern Warfare 3.
And I know there are some Halo pros that are making the jump over the pond as well. I'm not sure if they're full teams or if there's just a couple players going over, but it shall be interesting.
And then last but not least, we actually have the Texas Showdown, which is a Road to Evo qualifier. So, of course, fighting games, and we will see what happens with that because we are nearly at the halfway point for Evo qualifiers. So with MLG and NorCal happening last weekend, we'll have to wait and see what players actually come out to try and secure those final Evo points before going into the final.
Sweetness. And then I also want to throw in, there's the Copenhagen Games, which has been going on it goes on Wednesday tonight. It goes throughout the weekend as well. There's Counter-Strike, 1.6 Source, and Go. There is League of Legends, StarCraft 2, and Battlefield 3. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. All of this information is on our sweet, awesome, super happy, fun, cool calendar, Death and Destruction, that is on, if you click on the top of the site, it says eSports events on BossFight.tv. And if you want to get all your up-to-date what's going on when, check it out there. But other than that, unless you have anything, I think we're done, Mike.
I just want to remind people out there that if you're out there running your own events or know of any local events, please let us know. We are, obviously, as an independent site, we can pretty much cover and do what we need to help the competitive scene. Right. So if you have a local LAN or any kind of tournaments, get on us because, one, we can put it on the calendar as a grassroots event. And 2, we can help spread some coverage around because that's really where, especially after that interview with Kurt Carter, that is more and more where things are going to go.
Right. Anything we do to help. Because we've been promoting the ISTL tournament that's been going on. And those guys have been sending us daily updates that we've been putting on the website. So not only if you're just running an event, if you're out there and you are interested in helping esports or if you follow a game that you are really passionate about and you want to help us out, we are always open. Send us a tweet at BossFightTV. There's an apply for staff section on the site. Just let us know because we can take all the help we can get, especially for weekends like this.
Like this one coming up.
It's going to be crazy. But unless you have anything else, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So this is Josh Ingle, also known as Antipro, and
I'm Mike Bisson, a.k.a. Mohawk Mike, thanking you for supporting esports, whatever capacity you do, and thank you for considering. April Fools!